Wilson. Today we're going to try a fun one, something brand new to me. But it's similar to sauces I've made before. But we're going to make a really hot sauce. I have some C3P0 peppers. I'm told they're between 1 million to 1.5 million on the Scoville heat. Pretty hot stuff. So a C3POs, what better to sweeten it up than mangoes? Hence the Mangolorian sauce. We're going to have fun with this. So let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save some seeds for next year. Take only a moment. And then we'll show you how to make this sauce. Pretty simple. We're doing a water brine rather than a mash today. And I'll show you that whole process. Pretty simple. I'm sure you can do it. Hang in there. Let me get that camera moved. We'll be at it. Since I've never had these peppers before, the first thing I want to do is save some seeds so I can plant them next year. And man, wear some gloves. These things are brutal hot. Saving seeds is just simple as scooping them out, getting them into a jar, and that's it. That simple. Doing a water brine is really simple. All you need to do literally is just cut them. I like to go about 4 pieces and repeat. It's going to take me a while. As I'm doing this, every once in a while I'll throw some garlic in the jar. Run across a bad pepper, toss it. Not a big loss. Now if you have a few green peppers, like I do, it's the end of the season, don't worry about it. But for the most part, green peppers, they don't like to ferment too well. They don't have the lactobacillus on them, and they're just stubborn. But if you only have a couple, not a big deal. Well, we're getting there. Alright. Lengthwise, crosswise, jar is getting full. Now, if you got a muddling stick, I do inside, but I'm just going to be a little lazy today and use the back of my knife to pack it down. Notice how I'm holding that. No way my fingers are going to get cut. A little more garlic. And back to it. Oh, look right there. See that? You don't want that. That black mold in there can wreck your ferment. So toss them away. Okay, time for little spices. Oh, let me get these off. One about a half teaspoon, kind of heaping, of turmeric, and we're going to go about the same with ginger. Actually, we're going to go a little more. We're going to go with a full teaspoon of ginger, a little bit over. See how nice I measure? For the onion, I'd like to get me some nice slices. And just coarse chop it. Doesn't matter, this is all going to get blended later. The onion is going to act like a weight and help keep all the peppers down underneath the brine. So let me get these packed in there. I want to show you what it's like. When it's close, there we go. I'm going to save that one for last. So that last piece, That's going to come in, weigh things down, and give us that headspace for the brine. So let me get some brine ready, and I'll show you that. Okay, we're making a 3% brine. Easiest way to do that is put your jar on a scale, zero it out, fill it with water, get that weight, and to make 3%, you're going to multiply that weight times 0.03, or 3%. Add it in, stir it about. Add the cover. I don't have the cap with me right now. I'm probably just going to put some cellophane over it and band it, because all of my fermenting lids are in use right now. So this is going to sit for 6 weeks. The next step is going to be our mangoes. Just going to peel these guys. Okay, once you got that peeled, we're just going to slice it. However, it really doesn't matter. I never add fruit to my mash, because in the fermenting process, a lot of that sugar gets consumed. So you're going to lose all that sweetness that you put it in there for. So what I'm doing is by chopping it up, freezing it. Freezing temperatures are going to rupture cell walls and just really bring out a lot more sweetness. It's a cool little trick. I've been doing it for years. So I'm going to do that with 4 mangoes. Then we're going to be about 6 weeks before we get back to this project, because we got to let that ferment. So I'll finish up here and I will see you guys in about 6 weeks. Well, hey guys, it's been about 3 weeks, and our C3P0 peppers, they've completely finished fermenting. They went really fast. We're going to be making the Mangolorian. Now, a little caveat here, I don't sell hot sauces. A good friend of mine gave me these C3PO peppers. He owns Pleasant Lake Peppers. You can find him on Facebook. Really good guy, really good sauces. And I'm going to start off, as I showed you earlier, I froze a bunch of mangoes. I grabbed a couple more because I just think it needs it. We're going to start off processing these. Everything's going to be processed in this little guy because it chops so much finer than my bigger blenders. So we'll get some going. And just like that, the mango is done. Let me get the rest of the mango done, and we'll be back to go on to the next step. Okay, so that took several minutes when they're fresh. When you freeze them, they just turn to mush. And that's, that's really what you want. It's so much easier. The sugars are released a lot better. So let me clean up this mess. I'm going to wash a few things down. We'll start on the peppers. Okay, let me throw you a real quick tip. If you're cutting fresh mangoes, cut them real small. Once you freeze them, they turn into mush. So cut them small and add some liquid. I'm just using some of that liquid from the mango I cut earlier. They're going to grind so much easier. And boy, they're messy. Okay, after our C3POs. There's 1 onion in here, some garlic. You've seen that earlier in the video. Need to strain this down. If you're wondering why I'm using mangoes, making your own hot sauce is all about having fun. Coming up with the name for that hot sauce is part of the fun. How good would it be to have pineapple or peach C3POs? So, let's get these strained out, reserve the juice. Chances are we might want some of that later. And you know what? Forgot the most important step of all. Glove up. These are 1 to 1.5 million Scoville. So, yeah, they'll burn you. Okay, these should grind pretty easy. You know, after they ferment, they're pretty dang soft. Now, it may seem like a lot of onion, but in the scheme of things, there's just one onion in that whole jar. Don't overload. Say don't overload your jar. You want to get a super fine grind out of these. Okay, so grind these down so you don't see too many seeds at all. We kind of want those seeds. That's the hot. And that's just going to go back in. Right in with our mangoes. We're going to strain some with this out. Save some of the powder. Yep, didn't need to do that. If you find your peppers being a little bit stubborn in the grinder, you can add just a touch of brine back in. A little bit of liquid really helps get things flowing in these little grinders. Okay folks, got about everything I can squeeze out of this done. I'm not going to go show you the process, it's just too simple. Take all your mash, all the coarse stuff, dehydrate it, throw it in a little blender, you can grind it up, spice grinder, whatever you want. But once that's perfectly dry, and use that as a seasoning. It's hotter than blue blazes. You're going to love it. I've used it a few times. I gave some to a friend of mine that's a really good chili cook. He used it in a competition, and people wanting the really hot chili would take 1 or 2 shakes from a shaker jar, and man, did we get some hilarious comments. People were getting burned hard, running out and using the snowbanks to cool off, running home to the bathroom. It was kind of comical. So we will move to our next step. I do want some vinegar in this. You need to keep that pH down well below 4.5. I think we're close to 3.6 if my memory serves. So I am going to add a quart of white vinegar to the blend. Okay, everybody's in the pot. We just need to blend it up. I'm just using an immersion blender. Get this good and thorough. Okay, blend it up till you have as even of a color as you can possibly get. It's looking pretty fine there. I hope I don't regret this, but I regret this. Okay, I'm back. That was hot. That was steaming. My forehead sweating. It was steaming hot. This is brutal. I did add another quart of vinegar. It was just a little too thick. We thinned it down. Got a nice bottle. I'm not going to bottle this up today. This is going to go in the refrigerator. It's going in quart jars, going in the refrigerator for 4 or 5 days or so before I bottle. I want to make sure I kill off any of that lactobacillus fermentation going on. You know, that's important to give you some good shelf stability. The other thing is your pH needs to be below 4.5. I like to keep it in about 3.5 range. You know, the more acid, the longer your shelf life. So, that's hot. Well, I do hope you learned something today. I hope you try this out. You can do this with any kind of peppers you want. It's a basic fermentation, 2 to 4% salt for the volume of peppers. Really simple. These were diced and I did a brine. A lot of times I'll just grind the peppers and add salt, no water. Either way works. But this is bloody hot and it's bloody good. My friends are going to love it, certain friends. And we hope you learned something. I hope that I earned your subscription. If you'd hit like, I'd appreciate it. If you hit subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I'm a small channel. We got a whole lot more coming for you. And I guess we're going to see you guys on down the trail. Hey, wait a minute guys, not so quick. After tasting this, being a first try on this hot sauce, there's some changes that I'd make. I used 6 mangoes. I froze 4 and 2 of them were fresh, as you saw. I'd skin them all and freeze them all. It's just so much easier to blend them. But double the mangoes, and I'd probably add about a cup of honey. Make a world of difference, make it a lot sweeter. Right now it's just so brutally hot. Some good stuff. I love it. I know some friends of mine are absolutely gonna love it. And well, I guess that's about all I've got for you. So once again, happy trails.